Hello and welcome to the Virtual Concert Hall's live show. This promises to be a fascinating show because we have the Polish organist Michal Szostak as our guest today. So he's been on our show before, but we're having him on today to talk about the organ as a source of inspiration. We're going to talk about his article, which he co-published, about how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected artists into becoming managers as well, management of their own careers and management of their own team. We'll talk about how these artists have risen to the occasion and embraced their own careers, which is something that Sound Espressivo competition is really passionate about. And of course, we'll be hearing some of Michal's music on the organ. So without further ado, let's start. So Michał Szostak is an incredible concert organist, researcher, improviser, scholar, and musician from Poland. He earned his Doctorate of Musical Arts in organ performance at the Fryderyk Chopin University of Music. He has studied in Italy, in the UK. He has performed recitals all over Europe, North America, South America, Asia, and Africa. His publications can be found in the prestigious organ magazines in the UK, Canada, and USA, including the likes of Vox Humana, Organ Canada, the Diapason, and the British The Organ. He has a master's and PhD in the area of management. He teaches at two Warsaw universities, the University of Social Sciences and the Collegium Civitas. He was formerly the musical director and principal organist at the Sanctuary of the Virgin Mary in Liechtenstein, where the largest organ in Poland is. He has recorded CDs and written a book called The Organ as a Source of Inspiration. So without further ado, let's welcome Michal Szostak to the virtual stage. So welcome, Michal. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from Warsaw.
From all over the world, yeah. So right now,
Yes.
I'm in Sydney, Australia. And where are you right now, Michal?
I am in Warsaw. We are finishing Wednesday, the 13th of October.
Well, that's quite a impressive set of achievements you have there, and it's just incredible. We were talking before a little bit on the show about how many cups of coffee do you drink, Michal, to be able to achieve all of that, and you don't drink any coffee. You just go on
No.
long walks, right?
This is a pure natural situation, no coffee.
Which is actually really astounding to me because I don't sometimes feel like I can function unless I've had some
Without
coffee.
coffee.
So. Yeah. So before we dive right into the article you co-wrote and co-published in March 2021, is there anything else that you've done, like maybe climb Mount Everest, that you've achieved in your career that you like to showcase as well? Is there anything else that you've done that you feel you want to talk about?
No, I have not visiting Mount Everest yet, but we will see what will happen next. But after this article which you mentioned, I published a few other articles. So those activities which are possible to do during the pandemic, minor restrictions or a little bit deeper restrictions. I try to act, I try to play concerts where I can go without any limitations. So I try to live normally as I can.
Well, you live more than a normal life. I think you live a very productive and a very rewarding life, and it's just a really amazing to me. So I can't wait to get this. Let's get this show on the road. Let's begin with the article you published with Łukasz Sulkowski, and that's the title of Identity Crisis of Artists During the COVID-19 Pandemic and Shift Towards Entrepreneurship. So can you tell us a little bit about this this article that you co-wrote?
Yes, so this article is one of the results of my research done with Professor Sulkowski. We are trying to combine the theory of aesthetics that deals with artistry, with arts and beauty, connecting to theory of management, which so those two areas, music, aesthetics, and management, are my two main fields of activity. So this article brings something new to the science of management, to the let's say theory of identity of artists managers, and the results of this article shows that during the crisis situation, artists whose identity is built around artistry, creativity, and also entrepreneurship, during the moment of crisis, artists may make some shifts between those particular identities because artists in general possess the complex identity, and having those elements, those particular identities, we can shift between those poles, those
Yeah.
borders, referring to the situation. So the crisis that limits our concert activities, that makes some changes inside of us, because if the artist cannot make cannot have a contact with the audience, cannot perform or create, the artist may feel, let's say, not needed in his activities, in his mind. So, in
Right,
this
right.
moment, artists are trying to change the situation, are trying to manage their situation.
So can you talk a little bit more about what it means to have a complex identity? Is that something like so what is the difference between someone who has a complex identity and someone who doesn't have a complex identity?
The difference is, let's say, how do you perceive the world? If you are able to see the world one way, straight way, that you do just your, let's say, normal activities connected with one line of your life, or you can see the same life from different perspectives. Now, from perspective of an artist, from the perspective of a manager of your own career, or manager of any businesses, manager of any events like the Sound Espressivo contest,
Mm.
the identity of a creator, identity of entrepreneur. So this is a kind of approach which is connected, combined with paradoxical thinking a little bit. So having complex identities, we try to do many things in the same moment, the same way, but without looking for compromise. So we don't, if we have two different ways, we don't try to find one straight line. We are trying to go those two different ways, which is a little bit schizophrenic, but still it develops your creativity. Because if you are
Yeah.
fixed on something, your creativity does not develop.
Yeah, so I want to highlight actually, Auntie, could you show the artist and artist manager slide? And what is very interesting about this, is on the left hand, you can see that it talks about you have these testimonies from people, I'm assuming, people from
Yes.
who are talking about what it means to be an artist. And I want to just highlight, one doesn't need an organization title otherwise to be an artist. However, being an artist is more than just self-perceived or defined. One must be a part of the community to practice and emerge as an artist. And one additional thing is, having the talent and skill is permanent, but having the means, the opportunity, times, audience is dependent on external factors. One can only be an artist if both are present. So can you talk a little bit about the two things? Like you can have your artistry, but you also need the external. Can you talk a little bit about having those two, and how does
Yes.
an artist develop those things?
This approach is connected with the theory of inspiration and theory of motives of creative activity. So the creativity is a tool for achieving a goal. Artistry is a tool for achieving a goal. What is the goal? The goal is, let's say, sending a message. I am simplifying the approach, sending a message to the receiver. So if you create something and you are alone at your home, you don't have contact with the audience, with the receiver. So even that you can produce perfect work on your instrument, on your paintings, etc., but you don't have the receiver, the aesthetical situation, so-called aesthetical situation, which take place between creator through the artwork to the receiver is not complete. So creativity is a tool of delivering something. Artistry is a tool of we need inspiration to do it. We need motives to do it. Some people does creativity because they do not have money. Other people because they want to create like a god from nothing. Other people have excess of energy. So there are different motives, different inspirations, and you may have inspiration flowing from your inside, from your internal world, or inspiration from the outside.
So, to make this a bit more practical, what would you say to people? Let's say I'm a pianist. Let's say I'm a pianist, and I'm in school. I'm practicing. I'm taking classes. I am, maybe doing some competitions. How do I develop the managerial side of myself? I might not even have that much time. What are little steps I can take to start to develop this side of me?
First of all, we need to understand that every person deals with different things. So even that you think that you are only pianist, you still are a manager of your own career. So even if you don't think about this activity, you are a manager, you are a creator of your own career. But the starting point is that you need to say to yourself, okay, my career will be that as I wish, as I will do it. Of course, we have some external circumstances. We need to be in the right place in the right moment, but still, let's say the majority of the problem or the power is inside of us. This is your decision. Okay, I will create my career on my own. I will push it in this direction. So what to do? First of all, to understand that if you want or you don't want, you still are a manager. So if you will not develop your managerial side, you are losing something. You are doing that, but try to do it with your consciousness, not only passively, but do it actively.
I love what you said there, because it's like even not doing anything is still managing your career.
Yes. So this is the question. If you are leaving this activity to other people, because remember, other people are also manage their own career. So if you will not manage your career, people will not manage your career. They will manage their own career. So the place which you can build for yourself, other people will possess.
I love it. I that's actually brilliant. um, so I also don't want to forgo this talk, which is so fascinating, and I think we have to do a second round because there's actually more things I want to talk about, and I want to get your other articles and we can discuss those as well if you like. But let's actually play some of your music because I think you managerial things aside and your other careers and your articles, you're a fantastic concert organist. And I heard your Beethoven Symphony Number 5 on the organ. I've heard all the other works too, and your improvisation. It's just fascinating. I love it. So let's hear some of the music now, yeah, shall we?
Yes.
Wow. I only wish we had time to hear more of it. It's fantastic. And what's funny is, okay, well, let's talk about this because your book, The Organ as a Source of Inspiration, which we can probably talk a lot about as well. And Ante, if you can show some of the slides of the his beautiful cover, and look, this looks beautiful. The Rebirth of a Giant. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to discuss this, to talk about this, or write a book about it?
Yes, so this kind of books is not, let's say, a result of the moment. This is the result of many years of research, many years of artistic activities. So the spine of this book is my doctorate thesis about the organ as a source of inspiration, which were created around the CD recorded on the largest organ in Poland, 157 stops.
Wow.
So let's say that the normal organ is about 30, 40 stops. So
Wow.
this organ is 157 stops. This is, so let's say, three,
Five
four
times,
organ.
yeah.
Yes, as a normal organ, but this is
That's amazing.
the one huge symphonic instrument. And
Incredible.
how the instrument may inspire the instrumentalist. of course, this in this book is about organ for inspiration for organists, but not only organists may find something interesting. So, as you are the piano player, so the piano may also inspire you. Maybe not so deeply like the organ, because each organ is different. So, if you are going to play different instruments, all the time you will find something new. Even that you are playing the organ which was produced by the same company, which is similar in the size, for example, it will sound differently in different spaces. So, like this toccata improvised in the very beautiful church in Terezin in Czech Republic. It was my last concert a few days ago. Very
wow.
small instrument, very cameral instrument, but because the quality of the instrument is very good, because the quality of the space, the acoustics is genial. In my opinion, one of the best sounding instruments on which I have played. You have inspiration. So
Yeah.
sitting on this kind of situations, you see the instrument, you see its size, you see its quality, you have also your own mood, you have the environment, you met some people before, you will meet another people after that, and the situation creates its own character, its own, let's say, music. So in this kind of situations, when I have some time, I can play any kind of improvisations, which also allows me to understand the organ, this particular instrument, to be familiarized with this organ. I like to record these situations, and many times, and always, I can say that I create something which, after listening it, I am a little bit shocked that I after that I am the receiver of my own production.
Yeah.
So this is very not so not so common situation.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
like that idea a lot. I like that because it's like when you improvise, you're creating. But what you get to do when you listen to your improvisation is because I improvise it on the piano as well, and it's almost like you're receiving someone else talking to you, but it's yourself. And so it's always so interesting to hear yourself improvise and hear what
I
happened
agree.
there.
I agree, but and this is also a theory of aesthetics that says that you need some time after performance to, let's say, lose your connection with your artwork as a producer, as a creator, to be a receiver. For example, I have my experience that if I am recording something and then immediately I am listening to it, my perception of this music is in majority of cases very low, because I hear all mistakes, I hear all hesitations, but I need a few days or weeks, and then when I try to listen it, this is totally new piece for me, and I am forgetting about those small, let's say, hesitations, and
Yeah.
I am using this piece as a receiver.
It's interesting how it's about the ego as well. Like you let go of that ego and you're like, okay, look,
Yes.
let's look at this in a more objective point of view. So no, thank you so much for this. Look, I definitely think we need a second conversation.
No
We
problem.
barely touched on this book. We barely touched on the article. And so next time, let's talk about your newer articles. Let's talk more about organ and improvisation, because I love this idea. I think it's so inspiring, like you said, that we can gain inspiration not only from the instrument, but the
Yes.
space we perform in, but also, what we had for lunch and the interactions we had with the people
sure.
around us. Everything just starts to seep in. And I think improvisation allows you to be really vulnerable with your art, and it really shows a lot of who you are. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for
Thank
being
you
on the
very
show.
much.
Thank you, Ante. Where can people find you? Where can people find your music, your work?
So the first step would be the best on my website, michalszostak.org. Everything is written there. There are contacts to me personally. If somebody is interested in books, in recordings, there are links to the eBay, or you can write me personally directly. I will guide you. So the best way will be through the
Amazing.
webpage.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Michal.
you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Ante,
you.
all the producers and people behind the show, and we'll see you soon. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
All the best. Bye bye.
All the best. Thank you.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists, like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.